We are live for here for the round 18 of Miami here now in F7 Racing's Bronze Division. I am not Billy or Jack. I'm John. Jack is unavailable and Billy is a bit unwell, so it is me you have today. Um, I've been here before, I think a good while ago now, but it's not my first rodeo, so hopefully it all runs smoothly. We have a full lobby except for Podge, who somehow managed to accidentally delete the game. I mean, considering how the game has been, I wouldn't be far off deliberately deleting it, since it is a um not the best game. Let's keep it PG for now anyway. We'll see how the race goes, and that might change. But yeah, um, we have a silver driver in the chat there. Now officially silver as well. In Fearjack, he has been kind of promoted as part of trying to get the seats filled in silver. Magi is the last season's bronze champion who's still in bronze. I mean, I'm not too quite sure how that makes sense, but I imagine there's a few brown envelopes being used there to keep him in bronze, even though he already won the division, which generally means you. I don't know, but you still shouldn't be in bronze, mate. You've already completed it. You've completed it more than I have. So yeah. Oh, I need separate comms box. That is what I'm missing. Yeah, that's all good now. Almost immediately after he exited the garage, just 9 seconds into his F1 career. We might be used to blisteringly fast pit stops, some even approaching the sub 2 second mark. But what about the longest? Well, that would go to Valtteri Bottas, who had to retire after seized. So Magi's the first one out on track now. Hopefully that means he'll have less to say in the chat. But yeah, it's one of the race weekends that matches up with the real life F1. So we saw 27-2 in quali last night for Max Verstappen. Let's see what we get here. I saw some people saying they're in the 27s. Most people are in the 28s. I'm not quite sure what a good time is around here for bronze or for silver. It's a track that I hate with a burning passion. I just can never seem to find a lap time. But yeah, we're slowly getting underway as Maggi takes us around. Will we see any Magnussen-esque performances, like his performance in the sprint? Any teammates out of position who will be just piling up the penalties? I don't think it's too bad on the track limits, this track. Kind of the S's in Sector 1 is the only real spot really where you should be getting track limits, unless you're going straight there in the chicane that we saw Nick just go through. But we have now Maggi starting as flyer, and the first flyer of qualifying. Down the second in turn 1. And full commitment on throttle there. Let's see the sector splits, and we'll carry that through. There's a lot of traffic up ahead. It's managed to get out of the way, which is good news. And he just misses that apex, but it wasn't too bad. Needs 30.3. So that's similar enough to what we were seeing from the Williams yesterday in qualifying. So he'll be on course for mid to high 28 if that's to continue. But yeah, there's a lot of traffic on his first lap for Maggi to navigate as he invalidates there, so that answers my question of where is track limiter problem. It is there in sector 2, the end of sector 2. You've devil rejected on a lap. Is there anyone else further on the way? And there is, but there's a cryptic salt, and there was car there that was very much impeding. It looked like there's a Red Bull as he goes 28-1 for cryptic salt. There was a Red Bull there of, it's not Viva, it was Liam, I believe it is. So that's not the best. Ferrari of Nick is on a lap, one way 3-2 for the second sector, and he goes P2 with a high 28, which is good to be back from Cryptic Salt. And Nick, or Devil Rejected, puts in a lap time which I presume wouldn't be his best of runs. We have Heighton coming to the line now. I think he's the next to finish a lap. He's got the Alfa Romeo of Sus in front of him, who's also finishing a lap, so we'll go forward with Sus. 29.3 for him, and Heighton does a 28.9. So we're already into the low 28s, so that I'm guessing we'll be seeing 27s here. Overall fairly similar to real life, as Red goes P2 with 28.5. And you ran out of focus on your own streams, mate. It's the start of quali. There's no action yet. Once the action ramps up, I'll ramp up. Don't worry. But nothing fake here, nothing exaggerated. If it gets exciting, you know it. Until then, gotta conserve that energy. As we have Magic in lap 30.8, he'd be looking to be better than that, I would think. He looks to be pushing again. He's burning again, so I think that's not his lap done yet. I think he's gonna go for another one. And a set of tires, so that's his third lap on these tires, so I don't imagine they'll be at their optimum performance. As you know, in real life, the softs barely lasted one lap, so the fact he can go for 3 here is good news for him. Okay, game volume below, down this. Yeah, just when I go on board, it gets a lot louder, so I think that's probably one of the issues. So we get back on track here. We have Denrod going through sector 1 mediums. So he's going to be ramping up during this session. It's definitely well, I find it a very difficult track anyway to complete a lap and put it all together. So mediums and getting a few practice runs in, or maybe doing the Lando Norris or doing the McLarens. As he did a 30.6 in the first sector, and according to the game, that's purple, even though we've definitely seen faster first sector times than that. So, as per usual, the game is useless. Absolutely useless. As Magi's just second up on his time. Oh, yeah, he just finishes his third lap on those softs and improves. So, it's Floating Pipe says good morning, and good morning to you. Not the most usual of names, but it's a name nonetheless. But then Red is not doing too uncompetitive a lap time, it would seem, on these mediums. Good morning, Red. It's good to see you up at the sharp end of the grid for a change. Don't bottle. There's a 29.2 on the mediums. That's a very good lap time. Fair enough. I'm trying to think of a pun that involves floating. Uh, Nothing springs to mind at the moment. But yeah, we have Yudi on the lap, Don Dead is also on the lap, and Fijak is backing out of a lap as he is. Well, he's also a silver driver, but he's looking to be kind of building up his ERS again to go again after invalidating his first run. Don Edge is out there in a 48. You keep on board with Don Edge, who was backed out of his lap as well. So, is still gonna lap? Nope. Well, he is, but he's only in the first sector. That is one thing that it reminds me. I need to check the standings from, because from my recollection, it's quite a close constructors battle here in bronze. No news from Pod yet. But we have UD finishing lap to go P4, so that's a good lap time again from Ferrari driver. But no one is really troubling Cryptic Salt's lap time. So you have Sus going around. Doug is 103.1 to second sector, and that looks like a positive first two sectors for him. He comes across the line to go 28.7 and goes into P7. So, not too bad. Rita, V1 Rita is P4. Is V1 Rita a fan of UD or just is it actually UD? As Nathan, who has had no practice according to him, is not setting the timing boards alight with those first two sectors anyway. Well into 29s you would think. Yeah, 29.3 goes P14. Not the kind of pace you expect from him, but we have Fujak with a 101.8 through the first two sectors. This is going to be a very, very quick lap time, and as I say that, he goes P1 by 6 tenths. Yeah, 101.8 is what we're going to have to see in the first two sectors, as Red is already 2 tenths off for time, and Rita is proud of Yudi, so Rita's a fan. It's good to see support here in bronze. Nick Drew coming to the line now. Can he improve on the 28.8? And he does by 2 tenths of a second to put him P5. So the grid is quite close here as Nathan is backed out of it. And we'll go back on board with Red, who's half second off her lap time, but she's not burning battery now. She's going to go again. Must have had a very poor sector 1, so we have Nick 2 tenths up after finishing his lap. Yeah, that's one we already saw. Viva is coming to the end of sector 2 now, and there's a bit of traffic ahead. Maybe he can get a bit of a tow through this long back straight. Goes very wide to get the exit. Doesn't quite use all the track on exit, so kind of negates that advantage. Still burn his battery to the line. What sort of lap time can we see from him? I'm not quite sure if I saw it right, but I think it was a 4 tenths improvement to sector 2. I could be very wrong with that. Given how much he's missing Apex, he's coming to the pits, so they must be 4 tenths off his lap time himself, because I don't understand why you would be 4 tenths up and pit, but Evil Rejected is gone up to P8 now with a 28.7. So there's very much P3 down to P16, and then P1 and 2 are just in their own little battle. Nathan is not improving. His Cryptic is 2/10 up on his time through the first sector, and he's the only one now on a lap as Taylor comes in. What kind of lap do we see? 22.3, so he's 4/10 up. But he was 3/10 down after sector 2, so he must have run a bit more downforce, you would think, or a bit less downforce, if he's improving that much through the first 2 sectors, and he's a good bit down off Fearjack's time. Can he trouble? And he does go P2, so he lost a bit of time in that last sector, and a bit of a wobble coming out of the last corner. So Hyton is just starting a lap. Maggi is further through sector 2 as Nathan is invalidated. So we'll stay on board with Maggi as he goes 29.8 and is 4/10 up on his time already through sector 1. So that's already putting him up to P7 potentially, if he can keep this sort of run going. As I said, we have not the closest of drivers' championship. Taylor is fairly comfortable in the lead here, despite all the sandbagging. But then for the constructors, we have 22.7. That's 5/10 improvement for Maggi. He could be trouble in the top 5 here with this sort of run. But yeah, in the constructors, we currently have McLaren P1, who are 53 points ahead of the Haas, who are just further 14 points ahead of Mercedes, who are just 5 points ahead of Alpine. So they're the only runners, and Maggi does better than the top 5. He goes P3. It's a very good lap from him. As Hyton, did Hyton improve? I think so. But he's P6 anyway, and I think that should be him done for qualifying, if my timing is correct. As we have Yudi coming to the line now, but he is going to do a double out lap. But yeah, that's a good pace there from Maggi. And Cryptic Salt is doing good too. He's Crad Boy in the Discord, and Cryptic Salt out here, so I'm not too sure which one to refer to him as. But Yuri is now starting his run. As he'll be the first of the last runners. Here as Fearjack retires in the pits, so I think he's happy enough with his lap time. And yeah, he's 2.5 tenths clear of P2. And Cryptic can't go again, I don't think. So yeah, it's very much done and dusted for him, as UD is 3/10 up to sector 1. So that be him troubling Maggi. If you continue that kind of improvement, he could trouble Cryptic, but I don't think he'd be troubling Fearjack. Fearjack further proving why he is a silver driver. So we come to sector 2 now. 21.27, so it's still 3/10 up. It was I think that's very similar to what Maggi did through sector 2. If you can get a slightly better sector 3 here now, it'll put him up ahead of Maggi. Maggi, don't hold your breath. It could be P4 now in a second. Yuri looks to be on a good lap. He doesn't cut the shortest line, and he must have bottled the last corner, so you're safe. As Frost NC is apparently Cryptic Soft, is also apparently Crad Boy, so it's a lot of names for one individual. So we have an Alpine and That's a Ferrari. And that's Nick coming to the pits. So next on the lap will be the Mercedes of Red Wildfire. Is 3 tenths up on her time. Can she go P3? And she can by just over a tenth of a second. So that's a very good lap from Red. As we have the Alpine of, is it the rejected coming to the line? Is 2000s off, 200s off, and he doesn't improve. As Doug finishes his lap, does improve over the P5. Just behind Maggi, so it's a very good lap from Doug. We have Denrad coming to the line, and Denrad goes P3, so it's 28-1. So that's a very good lap from Denrad. Yeah, it's getting very tight up the front end here. Obviously, apart from the front two, but that's neither here nor there. We have Taylor, the championship leader now. Let's see his sector 2 split a 1:02.5, so he's faster than Denrod, or faster than Maggi anyway, as Don Edge goes P3. And Kieran takes it off him again. This is definitely ramping up here. As Nathan goes P6 after all that with no practice. And Red, who was in P3 and sweating, is now already down in P8. And we still have Taylor to come to the line. And he's half a second up. So he should be taking that off him. And he does. But Cryptic Salt and Fearjack have managed to stay P1 and 2. And Taylor has come in P3. As Yudi says he got out of few of the last few corners. As Podge unfortunately can't make it. That's very unfortunate, Podge. As Nathan said he messed up sector 1. And yeah, it's a very close qualifying. Apart from Fearjack. But yeah, that's bodes well for the race. Anyway. And yeah, that's qualifying. So we have Fearjack in P1, Cryptic Salt in P2, Taylor P3, Liam P4, Don Dedge P5, Denrod P6, Nathan P7, Sus P8, Red P9. She was P3 and she was sweating, and unfortunately a few drivers had to do a bit better than her and push her down to P9, and Jay rounds up the top 10. But yeah, 1.1 seconds separates the people completing the lap, which is very close. And if you go down to just P2, that's 9 tenths of a second from P2 to P16, P17. So that's a very, very close grid. 9 tenths separating P2 down to P17. Skirt, skirt. As Jack quotes Daniel Ricciardo. The real athlete sweat, I'm an athlete, real athlete sweat. Scat, scat. Or whatever he said. But yeah, looks a bit overcast compared to qualifying now. Be interested to see if there's any rain in the race. And be interested to see what tires people are on. My immediate guess would be a medium hard or a hard medium. That's generally the case in this game. So yeah, we wait aboard and see that. And yeah, it's Maggi was said P3 well, and then later on it says he'll sell it for P11, and that just showed the improvements in the last lap of qualifying there to push him down from P3 at one point down to P11. As we go to 5 red lights here in Miami, and it is lights out and away we go as the Aston Martin of Cryptic gets a good run into turn 1, but Liam is looking on the inside as Taylor. Jack has gone out fairly safely as everyone seems to be making their way through turn 1 and 2 and 3. It's not too bad, so that's good news. We have Don Dedge, who has gone for a bit of a wobble, it would seem. Lost his end plate, must have gone a bit too tight on entry, and has Just trying to stay out of everyone's way as we have Ferrari there. Looks like because it was ghosted for a second. Yeah, UD's internet it seems is not working. I'll send an invite there shortly, but we have front three as they were. It's all action now as the back of the field as UD is falling further and further back. I'll try and invite him there. I don't want to miss any of the action though in lap 1. As Jack is doing a Max Verstappen impression here at the moment as Alvaro Arnoza never rejected is spun at the chicane, lost his end plate and is now down to the last and maybe have to pit at the end of this lap as UD's falling further and further back and we have Doug and Red going at it. UD need to invite, yeah, I'll invite you there now and okay, and that's sorted now. Delve directed is into the pits now, changing his front wing as we have Nick and Merckx going for a battle there through the first couple of corners as the UFRL buddies are back at it again in the chat. As you have Doug doing not too badly up in P8 now, ahead of Red Wildfire, but falling out of DRS of Nathan, and Sus is struggling compared to Denrod, his Alfa Romeo teammate up front. And yeah, it is no DRS for Cryptic, so that'll leave him sitting duck, you would think, on the first straight of lap 3. If he's not overtaken before then, as Taylor is looking on the inside, thinks better of it, backs out again. Nathan is doing the same there, and Jay is kind of all for possession here, but the Alpha Tauris, Huyton is getting past Dondedge, as Dondedge has no front wing, so that wouldn't make sense. But yeah, out front it's not too bad, as Udite's got the innovator, so that's good news anyway. Hopefully be coming back into the race here now, as the field is slowly starting to spread out. We still have Nathan all over the back of Sus. He'll be looking at DRS here and make the move. He'll be hoping Sus isn't doing the same kind of defending that Kevin Magnussen was doing into this corner yesterday to Hamilton. But I'm not too sure what the ERS usage is like. But it looked like Nathan was saving, yeah, and Sus is using. And Nathan's underfueled as per usual. I'm not too sure if you can underfuel on this track or not. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Maybe he's banking on a few safety cars. But yeah, as of now, it's just Fear Jack is further extending his leads in this race. And there's a few kind of mini trains forming here throughout the midfield. Nathan isn't really using his ERS to overtake Sus here. It looks like he has more pace, but he's just not using it at all, as we have Fearjay spinning or just going deep. At the last corner, as we have got Mad G going on the inside of Nick Drew in the Ferrari, as his Williams teammate is looking to go for a gap behind him. But as of now, it's still Nick in front and Merckx tucks in behind. As Merckx on the hard, and that reminds me, the tyres. So Fearjack should be pulling a gap to Cryptic, because Fearjack is on the softs compared to Cryptic on the mediums. The fact that Taylor and Liam are still behind Cryptic, despite being on the faster tyres, that's a very good news for Cryptic throughout this race. Denrod isn't falling too far back, and that's good news for him as Nathan makes a move on the inside as Sus does do about Kevin Magnussen and take out Nathan, so that's not ideal. He does do a Kevin Magnussen will come straight back onto the racing line after going off track to try and keep in position. That's not good. But yeah, it's a generally a mix of the medium and hards from there down. As we have Taylor looking for a move there on Cryptic because it looks like they're going a bit argy burgy. No resetting the track, and Nathan, I agree with you on that one. This is for Cryptic is trying to get the position back off Taylor as we have more action down the back of this field as there's a Red Bull around, and that's Viva. Oh no, it's Liam. Liam is around and he's lost. Has he lost his front wing? Yeah, he's lost his end plate at least. So that is not good news for him. He's on the soft tyres. I'd imagine they're very much overheating now, and without their front wing, it'll be a big ask for him to make any moves. As Doug lets, is Doug missing an end plate? He's missing an end plate, so that must have been a collision with Viva or with Liam. Yeah, the battling between Taylor and the Cryptic that's extending the Fearjack's gap out front. So yeah, they're catching a bit on the yeah, there's a big train here from Viva down to Merckx as Merckx is making a move on his Williams teammate. Merckx obviously reserving from Silver today, as we have a move in the back from Hythen on Alvaro. It's a good move there from the Alpha Tauri driver. Although Alvaro's looking for the switchback, doesn't quite manage it as Doug is into the pits and Speed into the pits. Is he going to retire? I don't think he should. But that is not good news for him getting that 5 seconds on top of having the front wing damage. Cryptic is just hanging on in there. Takes a very different line to that corner to Taylor and could have put his front wing at risk there, but keeps it safe so far. Stuck on the soft, which is not something I would have thought to be the tyre of choice unless he was already in the hards, and he's going for soft medium now. Or soft, I don't know if that will last. The soft runners seem to be hanging on well there up front anyway, so maybe the softs will last a good few laps around here. I wouldn't have thought that though. Alvaro is still looking for the place back in Titan, as Red is managing to catch up to Sus here. Sus, you would imagine, be getting a penalty into this race. Red might not know that yet though, so she'll definitely be looking for a further place on track, as she's dragging Viva and Nick along with her in this DRS train. She's still out of the DRS at the moment, but you would imagine with the pace she's showing, she'll be able to catch up through this sector. As Devil Rejected is ghosted, I will get an invite out there. Unless he's left the track, left the race completely, as his car is boxing him because he's got front wing damages. He's drawing back again, so it's probably just a disconnect, unfortunately. Cryptic Assault has made the move back on Taylor in the interim, and you would think the mediums will be getting better compared to the softs now, although Taylor's getting a good exit here onto the straight and is burning his ERS already. You wouldn't think it was smart from Taylor to keep going for these overtakes and battling with Cryptic Salt, given the fact that it's just given more and more breathing room to Taylor is round. Taylor has spun it on the last corner. He's a bit over aggressive on the throttle. If he got one ring damage, or he just get rid of the softs, as he's speeding the pit lane, he's hardly retiring from the pits for it easy. Or it was just a skill issue entering the pits as Devil Rejected is retired from the session. What is going on? I hope there isn't a problem in the session. I hope. All these other cars look like they're working anyways. Devil Rejected is trying back again, but his car is DNF'd. So I'm not too sure what is going on here, unfortunately. It is, like I said, this game is a pile of shit. So, it is just very, very unfortunate. Like the game is useless. I don't know what else there is, unfortunately. As Viva is now looking to make a move on red, and he goes around the outside as Merckx isn't quite making a move yet, but he's making up a good few places compared to the start. We get rid of these tires, and we'll see the positions. So Merckx is up 12 places, Alvaro's up 8 or 10, Viva's up 8, Heighten up 7, and Viva's up 9. But there's a few pitters. So it'll be interesting to see how they funnel out there now after everyone makes their pit stops. As a match, you go for the switch back there in Dondedge, around the outside if possible, and wasn't quite able to make it work, but you would think into the next DRS zone be able to make a move. But in the meantime, Alvaro's going inside of Beauty. Alvaro's fallen back off Heighten. I think Beauty's made it past him too, so it's not been a good race so far from Alvaro. Is none of them have any battery, which is not something I would recommend personally as a viable strategy. But yeah, it's red now falling back off Viva slightly, as the other UFRL racer, or one of the other UFRL racers in this race, is Merckx, who is looking to probably make a move here on red. He's not burning, red was burning, red is looking on the inside, taking the tire to the line, and has made that move stick, you would think. And yeah, Viva just backs out of it there, and that is that, as UD and Heighten are going at each other now. Heighten stays up front at the moment, but UD is hanging around on the outside there on those mediums, and I don't think 2 goes into there, and there's probably a few track limits there. But it's now UD in front of Heighten after all of that. I think it was a bit optimistic from Heighten on being on the outside line there and trying to carry it through there. There was 2 into 1 does not fit through that chicane. Barely 1 into 1 works, so I don't think it was a bit over optimistic to try and make 2 into 1 go there, as red is looking to get the move back into turn 1 here. And she goes on the inside. Late braking. This camera angle is useless. I just show the cars. She'll have to settle back in for this first sector now, as Nick G was also having problems with this game because this game is the biggest waste of money ever. I already resent the fact that I spent money on F124. If F124 is useless, I will I will be making a move to go back to F1 2020. It's not a perfect game by any standards, but it is significantly better than the last few iterations we've had. Red is still hanging on there ahead of Viva and Merckx. Merckx has made it past Viva, although there's a Haas there, Fearjack, with those new tyres looking to make a move earlier on. Red is currently on the podium, but you think that could change significantly when the pit stops do happen, as Fearjack has gone soft medium. Is he going for a 2-stop strategy, Fearjack? as he's broke a bit late there and tried to avoid the contact with Viva, has gone down the inside of him, but stays back now. As yeah, it is Fearjack first one from the tires, as I said, and Taylor's there too, as it is very, very much wheel to wheel here in Sector 1, as Marks has made it past Reg, and you think you'll be able to speed off ahead now with the Silver Driver on those hards are better than the mediums, but Fearjack is still battling away there with Reg on the inside. Be interested to see who's got DRS. And is Red, he's missed out on DRS now, so that's not good news, as Fearjack has already passed with DRS. As we have Viva now making a move on the inside of Red. A lot of chopping and changing the positions here into this corner, as Red is holding on the inside, and these camera angles do not show you any of the racing. But Viva gets all out of shape there, as Nick repairs in the pits thanks to this game being useless. But yeah, despite getting all out of the shape, he's managed to hold position ahead of Rez. But in doing so, Fearjack and Mercs have gone miles up ahead, as Fearjack is moving the inside of Mercs with the newer tyres. Yeah, I don't blame you, Nick. It's the game, unfortunately. But yeah, Fearjack will now look in the catch up to Denrod and Cryptic here, as they both look like they're going for the one stop as opposed to Fearjack's potential two stop here. I doubt he's going all these laps on the mediums, as Taylor will now looking like a move. Yeah, he's got DRS and he's opening it, and he's already right in the back of Viva before the DRS is opened, so that'll be a fairly slam dunk move for Taylor. Red is still in the train with Viva, so she's not losing too much here, but all this battling could be giving Height and Nudie a chance to catch up, although they're battling plenty themselves, so that could be negating that. So yeah, this is currently close to battle on track. The only one with a move potential, and Yuri has made the potential a reality, but he's cut across in the braking zone, and he's just basically shoved Heighten into the wall and cut across him, and as a result Yuri's round, and that's, I'm afraid, his own doing, as he tried to, whatever reason, push out and take a wider line when there was a car on his outside into the braking zone, and just cut across Heighten's front wing and took himself out in the process. And I mean, that's self-inflicted damage there, I'm afraid, as Fearjack is catching up massively to the front two here. But yeah, as a result of that, we have Taylor catching Mercs though, with the DRS, but doesn't make the move yet, and he's lost a bit of time on the traction there, I think. As he's possibly getting another warning for cutting that inside corner. We'll see how much he closes up here now on the straight. Half a second before the DRS zone. It's open DRS, and he's made the move into turn one. Sorry, not turn one, the last corner. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Like the game is just not good enough, really. It's not reliable to have you finish races and have a consistency. That's why we had stuff like even in F1 esports when they're all there on a landed event, they're all in the same building. There were still disconnects, which caused more hassle with causing virtual safety cars, ruin strategies and stuff. So like it's the game is just not good enough as a whole. Like it's if he can't even make F1 esports work without having to throw VSCs for disconnects when they're all in a LAN event in the same building, I mean that's says enough. I think it's honestly it's an embarrassment to be fair. And yeah, for more of the same, this could be my last time buying F120 or one of the F1 games. But yeah, it's if they make it 3 years in a row where the game is not good enough in any way, shape, or form, then it will be third strike and they're out. Anyway, Merckx is holding on well in these hard compound tires to uh, Taylor's new-ish mediums. Yeah, it's very unfortunate as Cryptic does now pit, and so is Denrod from P1, and I'm not sure if Denrod is still in P2, but yeah, it's Cryptic is now coming into a nice gap here. No pressure behind him and no pressure in front of him. Can just gently ease his tires into the zone and get pushing. So this is still on for a good result for Cryptic. I wouldn't count him out of the race win yet, especially if that is if that isn't commentator's curse, I don't know what is. The second I say I wouldn't count him out of a race win here, he bins it into the wall and loses the front wheel. And that's somehow not a safety car, but yeah, that is. I'm sorry, I couldn't I jinxed you. I was literally talking about how well you were doing. I literally was talking about how well you were doing, and you binned it at that immediate second. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Merckx just saving his battery, not looking to make a move really on Taylor. Just saving his battery and hanging on in there, making most of these mediums, or making most of these hards before going on to the mediums. Yeah, yeah, it's a tough one, unfortunately. Cryptic, it's damage is on reduced, but that did not look like damage was on reduced there, as we have Jay going to the pits now off these hards. Will we now see the hard runners run to mediums? It is past the halfway point, so that is kind of generally when you would think it. Unless any of them are going to try to go to the soft tire. There haven't been any safety cars or whatnot, so I don't think that'll be a very manageable strategy, but I've seen crazier things on this game. And Nathan is still running out of fuel. Is Red on the fuel? No, Don Dead's out of fuel. Red is doing okay in fuel. That's a miracle in and of itself. But it's Don Dead and Nathan who are struggling for fuel, as I looked for a second there like Fishak was bad binned it. I'm not too sure what that camera angle was, but I fixed it now anyway, so happy days. There's a fast lap on the soft tires. It's not too far off what he did in qualifying, so he's clearly getting more and more used to the track as it continues here. Marcus is looking for the moving inside of Taylor without using any ARS, but is using the ARS, and that's the move made. So as he gets all out of shape on exit, and that lets Taylor back through, but Taylor has another wobble of himself, of his own, and that pushes. Why does Merc's get all over the place at the moment? Looks to really struggling with his hard tires now. But yeah, he's kept place above Taylor, but he was juggling through those corners there. With a few of the high runners putting on the mediums now. As Magi's putting on the north side of mediums, you would think. Yeah, instead of mediums for Magi. And that promotes Denmark to P5 on those hards. This is a very good performance from Denrod. He's got the freshest tyres of the top 9. So he'll definitely be going to the end, and you think Viva and Mercury pit in front of him, so that puts him onto the podium potentially. So it's... what is those camera angles? Oh my god. Anyway, you would think that Merckx will be pitting his lap onto he is trying to go for the soft tyres, which, I mean, it's not his division, as he is pitting now, as I foretold. But yeah, Don Edge is looking like we want Liam here. He'd be having pit again, I think, both of them. Don't think those hard tyres will be lasting the entire race, surely. But he's kind of on the inside here. A bit of a lock-up. Sends Liam a bit wide. And thanks to this camera angle, you can't actually see what's going on, but now you can. And Liam's all over the back of Don Edge. Don Edge has... Liam has got to the DRS, and he's going on the inside again, and he's got back to place. So... and that's left Jay through in these new mediums, and he's been making them work to the end of this race. You would think be absolutely rapid on those tyres now, and be looking to make a move with the DRS now on Liam, and that'll set him free onto Liam's Red Bull teammate Viva. As Merckx is on these new mediums and is already up in the P4, so he does have to retire at the end of this race, so he will... everyone behind him will gain a place, but as of now he's going to be putting good laps. He's all over the shop with that rear end, and he's miles away from the wall as they all are at Team the Nexus. No one taking that risk. But yeah, so already on the DRS range of Merckx, and Red is using up all her battery already and is still trying on the inside. Holds it tight on the apex, doesn't get a good enough exit so far, but she will have DRS again, and I'll give her the chance as Taylor is picking onto mediums now, but she is still behind just at the moment. This could be and actually no, Taylor's behind on the mediums, and so is Viva, so I don't think it'll be a podium for the Mercedes driver, unfortunately, but it'll still be a good result. But yeah, it's thanks to there being no safety cars. Okay, I didn't jinx it, but all the strategies are being allowed to play out. As Red needs to save up her ERS, so she's literally on 0, and that is not where you want to be with all these straights on this track. Especially now being the lead car. You'd think she'd have a higher advantage to pull away from Sus, but that is to wait and see, as yes, Jack is now pitting. He's only done 9 laps in these mediums. The same amount of laps he did on the softs at the start of the stint, and he's going to another set of mediums. You'd think he would have pitted off the soft bit earlier at the start of this race, but anyway, he's got the advantage behind him. He'll be coming up behind Denrod, but you think he'll be long over. Is that for Fear Jack, is it? Only 40% of the more laps. He mustn't really pushing that much, so. As again. Hopefully Suttles is making more of these moves. As Heighten is out. Heighten is out. Easily done there, I think. It's very late in the corner. I think he just lost it midway through the corner getting on power, and he was a new medium, so he should have had plenty of grip, but he just lost it, and I did jinx it after all. We did get a safety car. And now they're closing up the field now. You would think they'd all play on the softs. I mean, if one does it, then they'll all do it. Fritzak is in the lead at the moment. You can see what he does. I'll keep the tires keep open for now. See if people pit, and if so, what tire they put onto. I don't know if Fritzak has a new set of softs. But he's going very wide there. Looks like he's pitting. He is pitting. Deadrod is pitting too. Marks is pitting. Red surely will pit now, seeing all of them pit. Yeah, everyone's pitting. There's a nice procession into the pits here now as Taylor stays out. Ooh, he has got the time penalty, so that does make sense from that standpoint. He's going to be losing places now because of the time penalty. It's going to hurt him a bit more. It's just 3 seconds, and Alvaro was 5. So Alvaro will be getting rid of the 5 seconds, you would think, unless he just got it there and I didn't see it. And Newly with those 3 seconds will be not doing too well either. So yeah, Don Dead is pitting too. And the softs, everyone is pitting. As I said, everyone is pitting. Nathan is back in this now, thanks to this safety car, as he has also got time to type in the chat during the safety car period, so he wasn't in an AI. But yeah, I mean, given his time penalty, I don't know if he'll, like, it's kind of a tough one, because he is going to be losing places more. It's going to be more costly to have a time penalty now because of the fact the pack is all bunched up. Nathan is the only one to go on to mediums. I presume he had no softs, but that'll help him and Don Dedge, who's now grand on fuel. But yeah, it'll help Nathan now if he'd hopefully with the safety car, or he does have a bit of catching up to, so I'm not too sure. And if ever it was set up perfectly for someone to a Magnussen-esque performance, it would be Taylor at the front of this train with 3 seconds worth of time penalties and 2 lap one mediums compared to everyone else's brand new softs and Nathan's brand new mediums. It's had to ruin the look of the board, didn't he, Nathan? It would have been so nice to have everyone pit on the new softs, but it just had to be awkward. We are in a medium sandwich at the moment, it would seem, with a lot of filling, with these super fast soft compound tires, as Red likes to call them. Speaking of which, if you want such a riveting commentary such as super fast soft tires, we have got our fantasy division on Monday nights at 7:30. We have this one is the bronze race. This is started at 10 a.m. on Sundays. We have after this we'll have the silver at 12:30 a.m. and we'll have gold tonight at 7:30 usually. Although that is the race starting at 9 today. I think we might have to move gold forward. I can either confirm or deny at the moment, but that is probably something that will have to happen. And then we also have our realistic division on Wednesdays. I also believe that is 7:30. Realistic is all realistic car performance. We include engine wear and all that, so you get engine penalties and all the cars realistic performance. And we have driver transfers, driver salaries, team budgets, team principles, all that good stuff. The fantasy division on Monday nights run by Red is Your team, your livery, and your teammate are all chosen by you. It's all equal performance, and it is a constructors only championship. And you, much like proposed now in F1, every finisher gets points. So first all on the P20, first which who gets 20 or 50 points, and first or 20th gets 1 point. So yeah, we have now got this race starting up again. You would think Taylor would be going on the exit of the last corner. Is heightened decision? Okay, that's grand. As the field looks a lot smaller now when it's all bunched up in this camera angle. But yeah, Taylor very, very much tiptoeing here as Fearjack is really, really, really tempting getting a penalty, and as I was predicted, I need to get the lottery numbers today. Taylor goes on the exit of the last corner and goes well here. Maggi looking on the inside of Yudi. They're having a race-long battle, these two. But Maggi staying in front at the moment as Fearjack is all over the back of Taylor here now. These new soft compound tyres are absolutely rapid, are super fast at the moment as Fearjack takes a wide line, get a good exit onto the straight here, and Taylor's burning, Jack's burning, Denrod's burning, Merckx is burning. They're all burning the battery now, and Fearjack just hanging on in there, just hanging back, taking his time. As Heighton unfortunately has lost this, as there's almost a switch back to the chicane from Fearjack. That just shows how much extra grip these soft tires have. But yeah, it's you think when DRS comes online, that'll be a fairly slam dunk move. Fearjack has double the battery of Taylor at the moment, as Jay made the move on Red, but gets all out of shape and is looking to make the move back as Red is being overtaken by Jay, and Viva's looking to make a move on her, but don't tell Lemon. And we have Dondedge battling Yudi, who's also battling Maggi, and we were 3 wide there at one point, and we're going 2 wide into here. The two does not definitely go through there, so they've all had to readjust themselves in the single line. But yeah, Fearjack we think we making the move now. Gives a light burn in the battery. Taylor has a fast car in the straight line, it would seem, given the fact that he's managed to hold in front of Fearjack here, even though he's had the slipstream. But you think as soon as the DRS comes online, Fearjack is going to make that move easily enough and be well on his way. As it stands though, we have a spinner at the back. We don't, thank God. As it stands though, Taylor will be going on to P5 in this race. You think that'd be changing throughout? But Viva has lost position, or no, his game position Red. He has made it past the Mercedes driver. And Red is holding on there, but she can't make the move back in turn 1. So that is the move made as Fearjack is now burning the battery, as again I predicted. I mean, I'm just too good at this. I can see into the future. But yeah, Merckx will be looking to make a move now on Taylor. It's, the race has panned out pretty well for Merckx. He's got plenty of battery. He got the DRS now on Taylor. Taylor's out of battery. Merckx goes on the outside. Merckx won't go for too aggressively here, you would think, given the fact he knows he's reserve and he's overall a very clean driver. Although he stuck his nose up there, and Taylor told him, "No way, Jose." He made it very clear that if he stuck his nose up there, he would lose it. But now onto this back straight, Marx has got a good exit with the new tyres. Taylor has no battery, and you think it'd be a fairly slam dunk move from Marx here. Taylor doesn't even bother fighting it, and yeah, like Taylor might have given him a bit of a tap. He definitely gave him a bit of a tap there on exit. Taylor getting very aggressive, very aggressive here. But yeah, it's Denrod now back onto the podium here ahead of Taylor, and Taylor is just losing positions in this race. I said with the penalty, we're moving on to P5, but at the moment he's going down to P7, and you would think with these older tyres he'd be losing more and more time throughout, and it's just not working out for Taylor. Unless he's just sandbagging again, I mean, it's very likely, unfortunately. As I've gotten rid of all intervals, and let's get that back. Then I'll be looking to catch up with the back of Marx, but he is a bronze driver. He was previously in silver, but he got moved down to bronze, and I think that suited him while he's been able to much more enjoy his battles and be more in the thick of it, and that's always more enjoyable as a driver. Be more involved up front as opposed to hanging around that back. But yeah, it's doesn't look like there's going to be any moves into this last corner now. We have the McLaren. I don't know if it made them. Did it make Professor Williams? I'm not too sure. But he's ahead of Maggi anyway. I don't know if he's already ahead of Maggi, as Maggi gets a bit squarely there in exit. Taylor is hanging on well to Denrod here, as Dondedge is past Yudi into turn 1. There's still 2 laps to go, but half the field are less than 10% battery, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Merckx is catching Jack here. Hopefully Merckx knows to retire on the second to last lap, so as to not mess up with the results. But yeah, we have Taylor doesn't have the battery now to make a move. Well, that's not going to stop him. He's gone down the inside of Denrod. I wouldn't think Denrod would be fighting too much. He knows Taylor has the penalty. Red would be looking to hopefully get into that 3-second window with all the battle now front. She's made up a second through this, more than a second through the sequence of corners, thanks to their battling. You would think that she is back on the train now, so that will help get her an extra place later on. As Taylor has fallen further and further back out of DRS, he's lost 3 places on that straight, thanks to not having DRS. So that is quite impressive, as Merckx is onto the back of Fearjack. Fear J is now in the P3. I hope so. But I hope so. Hope he knows to do it. Either way, it shouldn't be too bad. He's not going to be aggressive, hopefully. Fingers crossed, as we have retirement on track from Sus. And that kind of sunk up his race. Took 2 people out and then retires on track. So yeah, that's not ideal. Anyway, Marcus has made the move on the outside of Fearjack now. I think he wants to get into the lead of this race to prove a point and then retire. That's hopefully it, as Taylor's back into P3 past J, and Denrod and Red are battling up back, and that's brought Dondedge into it too. As if any of them save a battery, Viva has the most battery out of all of them by some margin. So he's saving up his battery for the last lap, which is a smart thing to do here, because You're not getting the front two, but since one of the front two has to retire, then you will be. Still, they're 9 seconds in front now. Relax, would ya? Jeepers creepers. But if Red has made it back past Denrod, should he get good enough exits? As Merckx is not retiring apparently. Anyway, he'll have to be removed from the standings. So, but yeah, it is Taylor bringing. Denrod and Red have lost so much time here thanks to all their squabbling. So that's not ideal for them. Not playing it very smart, but Viva here has 4% battery on his last lap. He's going to have to burn. He's not burning. Viva is not burning his battery. Taylor didn't have to burn either. They're really saving this for the last straight, but I think it could be a bit late here. I think they are battling for P2 here. Denrod and Red have cost each other a chance at the podium, you would think. Given that they've come back here. But yeah, Taylor's burning all his battery, and Viva left it a bit late there, possibly. He is making a move now on Jay. That's all he has to do. And yeah, that is. Jay is just ahead of Viva. A bit of action there as Jay comes across the line and crashes on purpose, and then Denrod is P4. And as I said, Red and Denrod, they're squabbling and have caught each other a chance at a podium or P4 anyway. But yeah, it's whew, a lot of action there after the late safety car. But yeah, Taylor didn't do too badly to come back and forth. People fighting behind to kind of help that for him. He was looking at being P7, P8 at one point, thanks to his 3 second time penalty, but did manage to get P4 in the end. So he won't be too satisfied with that, I think. Congratulations, Fearjack, with the win. Fairly dominant. And this loading screen's taking a while. Let's see if I can see the results. So yeah, we have Fearjack in P1, J P2, and Viva P3 ran out the podium. Taylor P4, Denrod P5, Thondedge P6, Red P7, Liam P8, Nathan P9, and Maggi P10, rounding up the top 10. And we'll just get all the incidents. Let's get that as well, just because Nathan enjoys that. But yeah, it is. The game gave Jay driver of the day, going from P10 to P2. And Viva went from P13 to P3 though. It's between Jay and Viva for me. I'll say Viva. He gained more positions. So for me, it's driver of the day is Viva. I mean, to be stuck battling a red at one point, to be up in the podium, that's quite a progress. So yeah, it was. I think it was Viva is on, not on Thingamabob, not on PlayStation, but I can add Jay and Fearjack to the party if they'd like to do some interviews. And it was Jay. see if I can see him anywhere. I've invited them both to the party there anyway. And we will leave the session. We'll go to the showroom for the aesthetic. Congratulations, Jay. Um, I'll just, I think we just wait a second until we have Fearjack who wants to join in. Yeah, we'll wait a couple of seconds there. We'll be starting with you anyway since you were P2 as opposed to P1, but still a very good race. Fearjack has now joined, so yeah, that's grand. So yeah, P10 to P2. How was the race for you? Yeah, that seemed to be a tough enough task for most people. I saw a lot of missing end plates throughout the race and a lot of argy-bargy. So yeah, keeping it clean and keeping the racing clean and just keeping your nose clean seemed to be the best way to go at it, and it did you well. You're a bit ahead of where you were in qualifying. Did you have a very bad qualifying, or how was qualifying for you? I mean, all things considering, yeah, all things considering, it's not too bad. I think your settings for sharing your voice aren't enabled, unfortunately, so I don't think anyone can hear you. But yeah, yeah, I'm not 100%. Yeah, change it for next time because at the moment I'm not too sure 100% what settings we need to change. We'd be all here, we'd be all day here trying to sort that out. But yeah, um, um, I wasn't too sure on the maths, but a P4 finish is a good finish, 12 points, so possibly with 3 races to go. So I think so. Yeah, it looks very very possible. But yeah, yeah, and congratulations on your P2. Yeah, we have Fearjack now with the 25 points. So yeah, with 3 races to go, or 2 races to go, Taylor has actually won the championship, so I might actually invite him as well. But
Nah,
in
don't. He's not needed.
the congratulations on the race win.
Oh, it was stressful. It
I
was not
mean,
fun.
considering your 10-second lead at the end and your lead in qualifying, I don't think it was too stressful.
Well, after my antics last week, I did gain 10 seconds of penalties, so I was stressing when the safety car came out because
Oh,
I,
so you had to pull the gap by 10 seconds, so
yeah,
did you?
I
Oh,
had to get the 10 seconds,
fair enough, fair enough. I
which
wasn't
is
clued up
yeah,
on
it was
that.
don't know what happened last week, but we're back to normal form, and I'm excited for silver full time.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. See, I wasn't aware of that now. I thought you were just
Yeah,
chilling
no,
out front.
no.
But
I
yeah,
was I was like as soon as the safety car came out, there was a big large sigh of me going no, but
fair play. But yeah, you did well there, even with the battling with Mercs at the end of it. But yeah, it was a fairly dominant performance from you as a whole with quali and the race. So, do you want to talk to your quali? You retired early in the pit, so I think you were fairly confident.
I messed up my first 2 laps. So it's like I set one like, good lap, and I was like, okay, I don't think I can improve. So I thought, oh no, here he is.
Yeah.
So and then first lap went well. Luckily,
Hello.
Cryptic Salt was really fast today. It's a shame he had a a
Hello.
spin.
Yeah,
Actually, I don't know what happened to him.
Taylor, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh well,
cheers.
Mr. Winner.
Yeah, we'll get to you shortly, Taylor. But yeah, it's Cryptic was showing a lot of pace there, but I did a bit of a commentator's curse. I was talking about him still being on for the win, and at that very second he smashed the wall and smashed his car into pieces. So yeah, that
Well,
was unfortunate. But yeah, you
well,
gave
I will
you a
let.
comfortable win
Yeah,
in the end.
don't know about comfortable, but it was it was a
Yeah,
fun race. But I
yeah,
will say congratulations to Taylor on the championship, and I will be fighting for P2 now. But yeah,
yeah. So
thank
we'll
you.
see you in silver later on as well.
Oh yeah, here
Yeah,
on the podium as well.
we'll wait and see if you're not sandbagging again in silver. But yeah, we have now got your F7 Racing Bronze Division champion. Taylor, how are we?
Quite well. It was a tough race. Um, I don't think I was nowhere near Fearjack and um, was it Cryptic in
Yeah,
P2 before the first round of pit stops. Yeah, they were just quick, and then I got nudged in the back on the second to last corner by Cryptic, which just sort of threw me off a little bit. So I thought I'd chuck it in the pits, and again another 5 second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So not too happy with that, but the safety car which Cryptic caused helped me out in the end as well. So can't really discredit him too much for that.
yeah, it was a tough one. There was a lot of comments in the chat about you not pitting under the safety car. They thought you were just deliberately sandbagging, but I thought it kind of made sense given your penalty. You were going
Well,
to lose the
yeah,
pitches
it's
anyway.
I had 3 seconds anyway, and if I was gonna pit, I would have came out. I think it was like fifth or sixth anyway. So I
Yeah,
had pretty fresh mediums. There was only on like 6% anyway. So I thought it's like if I get overtaken by 6 people, I've not lost anything. But I think it was P5, was it in the end?
I think it was P4 in the end actually. Yeah, so it
So
was.
yeah, I was just hoping that everyone would battle behind me, try and pull away with Fearjack. I know he's going to overtake me eventually, so I was just trying to burn all that ERS, just trying to create a gap to like P3, P4, and try and get 3 seconds somewhere along the line.
Yeah, and it worked out well. I mean, at one point it looked like you were going back down to P7 or 8, but thanks to the
Yeah,
battle behind you, it kind
there
of
was a
paid
very
out.
intense battle. So,
Yeah,
um, very close.
but yeah, it's been a fairly dominant season from you.
Yeah,
Plenty
no,
of race
it's been a good season.
wins, played plenty of
It's
podiums, and with
plenty
two
of
races to
penalties,
go.
in-game
Yeah,
penalties, shall I say. So that's definitely something to work on. Like, I think I was one of the very few drivers today to get a corner kite penalty. So I'm not too happy about that, but it's
yeah,
something to work on.
yeah, definitely something to work on for silver next season. But yeah, it's you were almost uh wrapped it up in Brazil, but you didn't. The race didn't go too well for you, but now you have wrapped it up with two races to spare. So, how would you think of your season as a whole?
Um, it was quite good. I mean, coming into the season, I had Hooky as my teammate, and we set out with a goal to try and win the constructors, and obviously something's happened personally. So like, I've had a few different teammates, but as a whole, it's been good because you had Jay at the start. I think he won 3 races back to back, and we thought, oh, he's going to run away with it this season. But then after Monza, he sort of like dipped down a little bit, and then you had a resurgence of McLaren in Mexico and is it Mexico and Brazil? Like they got something like 50 odd points in that weekend alone, and they're gonna look like they're gonna win the constructors, which will be nice for them.
Yeah, I mean, you can't win them all, I suppose, but you've done a fairly good performance from your own standpoint. You've done what you can do. You control what you can't control. So yeah, congratulations on your bronze win.
Cheers, thank you. Great comms as always, John.
Cheers, mate. It's do my best. But yeah, congratulations to you, and that is it from us here now today in bronze. See us again in about an hour for the silver race, where I'll be on comms again, and we'll see a few familiar faces from this race and that race. And yeah, I'll see you then.